Professor Bokpin. And I know Prof will begin by greeting all individual bondholders because he said,
we have received your greetings, Prof.
Prof, you are the neutral one here. You have no horse in the race. You don't have a bond, so you're fine. So give me your honest. So you are the guy in the middle who can tell us what is the best deal here. What's the best deal? This deal or the one that the finance minister is offering 10% now?
Good evening, Evans, and then your colleague, individual bondholders.
So I'm a bondholder. Should I take this or I should keep my bonds?
I would prefer that individual bondholders will still hold on and ask for better terms, right? Because you see, the debt restructuring we are undertaking is what we call a preemptive debt restructuring. So in other words, the default actually hasn't taken place.
No default.
Okay. So this is an anticipation of something, and we don't want that to happen. So we call that one preemptive debt restructuring. Now, typically in the literature, the preemptive debt restructuring doesn't take that long. It's a bit different from where the default has actually taken place. Okay. So the way some people are interpreting this whole thing that, okay, you don't need to participate, the government won't default and all of that. No, typically, if you look at the framework that the 2023 budget, that interest on all government securities are fully provided for as approved by Parliament and the rest of them. And even with the gains that the minister has made so far in terms of those financial institutions that have...
the banks, insurance, and the Securities Association.
Yeah. If we take that and do some level of expenditure-based fiscal adjustment, it squares up. Okay. So I'm struggling to understand why, as a country, we are taking ourselves through this stress. Okay. And why there is so much over concentration on creditors taking a deeper haircut. Because in the framework, you have three things you are looking at in restoring debt sustainability: fiscal adjustment, structural, and debt restructuring. Okay. Now, the reason I sympathize with individual bondholders is that if you look at the trajectory, Evans, we can decide as a country today and say that let's forgive government, let's give everything to them. Let the debt to GDP ratio come to about 30% of GDP. Evans, less than 10 years, we'll be here.
Oh, that's too far. 2 years.
We will be here. And for me, Evans, and it's good that I don't have even a CD in bonds. So I'm looking at it from a perspective where we can engage and restructure something that comes along with structural reform, fiscal adjustment, that gives sustainability.
Wow.
Now, if you look at where we find ourselves, and what I'm saying, Evans, it doesn't apply to only this government. Look, whether it's NDC, MPP, when we completed HAPEC 2004, and the Multilateral Debt Relief Initiative in 2006, Evans, our debt to GDP ratio came down to less than 30%, about 26%, end of 2006. Evans, but this is where we are today. Mm-hmm. Between 2006 and 2022, effectively, we've had a taste of these two main political parties. We've seen their actions that manifest explicitly in debt formation. So this gives us like a good crisis where we can restructure things. And it will not only be binding for the MPP that is in power, but for the foreseeable future. And I fear we are missing the point. Okay? We are missing the point. Look, and this is, there can't be any better way of describing this situation where the borrower is rather asking the lender to adjust his lifestyle for the borrower to be able to pay. When is the borrower's lifestyle that has caused this problem? Okay, it doesn't sit well. It doesn't sit well. So, and then beyond that, you see, I'm even concerned, even with the financial institutions that have signed under the Third Amendment and the rest of them, and the impact.
Yeah. Yesterday, the BOG governor, for the first time, admitted they've done a latest assessment, and they found that the current challenges in the debt exchange program is putting, quoting him, increased pressure on liquidity and solvency of these banks. So he's worried.
And Evans, and that is what I've said before, I have a lot of respect for those at Bank of Ghana. And I am just surprised that, and I'm sure the story will be told one day, of how regulators teamed up with politicians over champagne and messed up Ghana's financial sector.
I agree.
The story will be told one day.
I agree.
And I feel sorry for the role that regulators have played in coercing, essentially, these participating financial institutions. Evans, why are we concerned? Building institutions that should act as checks and balances.
Independent, though.
The regulators are there to protect the sector they regulate. Okay? It is this kind of attitude and posture, so accommodating to our fiscal slippages, that has brought us here. And is the reason why, with all the knowledge and the technical insight of the people at Bank of Ghana, monetary policy is being pursued as subordinate to fiscal policy rather than it being complementary. I am sorry. We have to say it. We can't say it in any other way. When you are more diplomatic about it, then you are talking about something else. Evans.
That's right.
Okay.